After a reckless night with Uncle Ethan, I fled overseas to study. The ruthless man didn't bat an eye about my departure, only stipulating I must return in 3 years. Years later, I barely stepped out of the airport with my child when Ethan's bodyguards ushered me into a black sedan. I'm married, I stammered, fingers trembling. Familiar laughter devoid of warmth echoed above me. Ivy. The voice dripped with danger. Letting my heir bear another's surname? You've grown bold. Everyone knew Ethan's control over me bordered on obsession. Since childhood, he'd forbidden sleepovers and dating. Yet tonight, the man lay sprawled across my bed, golden light softening his marble features. Uncle, I whispered. He remained motionless, perhaps drunk, perhaps drugged. When I leaned to wipe his forehead with a damp cloth, iron arms yanked me down. Look at me. His whiskey-rough command left no room for refusal. Heart hammering, I dared trace his collar. Normally, touching Ethan would be suicide. The man who forbade crushes would skin me alive for this. Yet when his frost-kissed lips claimed mine, every protest died. Relax. His cultured tone shattered my resistance. That night, I muffled whimpers as hotel sheets twisted beneath us. Terrified Ethan might sober up and discover his niece defiling his bed. At dawn's first light, I limped from the wreckage, clothes clutched to bruised skin. You know your uncle's on warpath? My best friend's call found me days later, gingerly applying arnica to purple fingerprints. His men turned the city inside out searching for someone. I froze. I knew exactly who he hunted, the woman who dared take advantage of Ethan. The front door clicked open. Cold? I jumped, nearly dropping my phone. Ethan stood haloed in hallway light, his glacier gaze sweeping over my hastily covered injuries. Heat flooded my cheeks as those perfectly arched brows lifted. Ethan's gaze suddenly landed on the inner side of my wrist. It was the love mark he'd left last night. I hadn't even had time to cover it. Seeing someone? His indifferent tone made every hair on my body stand on end. Still sore from last night's activities, this interrogation turned my face ghostly pale. And no. Is that not allowed? Ethan looked down at me with that infuriating half-smile. Ivy, what do you think? You just turned 18. Barely graduated high school. His words stung, a constant reminder that in Ethan's eyes, I'd always be that naive girl. Not a single touch from anyone before college. He commanded, his voice turning glacial. If I catch you again. The unspoken threat hung heavier than his Armani cologne. But the protest died in my throat as his eyes narrowed. How could I explain when the man currently forbidding me from dating was the same one who'd pinned me against these silk sheets 12 hours ago? I fled to my room, foolishly believing Ethan might show mercy if he knew the truth. Days later at his corporate office, I froze outside his door. Keep searching. His voice carried through the polished wood. An underling asked. And if we find them? Ethan's laugh chilled my blood. Need I spell it out? Process them through legal channels. I booked the next flight overseas that night, leaving only a hastily scribbled note, gone to study abroad. Uncle Ethan. His reply came during my layover, fine. Return in 3 years. 5 years later. I jolted awake as the plane touched down in a city. The humid memories still haunted me, that night's feverish entanglement making my cheeks flush even now. The airport TV flashed foster group's latest campaign. There he was, Ethan's arresting features unchanged. Those obsidian eyes still capable of unraveling souls. Mommy. We're here. Theo's voice snapped me back. My stomach twisted as I met his eyes, exact replicas of the man on screen. 2 years past Ethan's deadline. I'd have stayed exiled forever if not for those engagement rumors. While texting our Uber driver in the VIP lounge, I didn't notice the sudden hush. Theo broke free before I could react, barreling toward the entourage's leader with outstretched arms. Uncle! Up! The entire lounge froze. My blood turned to ice as I scooped up the giggling toddler. Ethan. 5 years had only sharpened his predatory grace. His gaze swept over us like a hawk sighting prey. Still remember you have family. Ivy? Those piercing eyes locked on Theo. Care to explain? This is my child. The room plunged into tomb-like silence. Ethan's eyes frosted over instantly. After observing my nervous expression, he turned to his assistant. Move the meeting online. Take Miss Ivy home. Before I knew it, Ethan's security team ushered me into the black SUV. Of course he'd be furious. Disappearing for 5 years only to return with a child? I should count myself lucky he hadn't broken both my legs. Theo slept peacefully in Ethan's arms throughout the ride. Oblivious to the tension, Ethan cradled our son with one hand while rhythmically tapping the leather armrest with the other, each click echoing like a death knell. 3 years gone. And you dropped this atomic bomb. Ivy. His deceptively casual tone made my spine prickle. Where's the father? Dead. I blurted, flashing the cheap silver band on my ring finger. Overseas, illness. Ethan studied me under the passing streetlights. His expression unreadable. As the car entered the Foster family estate, night swallowed us whole. A nanny whisked Theo to the nursery while I stood trapped in the dim parlor spotlight. Enlighten me. Ethan lounged on the Chesterfield. All predatory grace. What exactly should you be apologizing for? My throat tightened. Vanishing for 5 years. Marrying secretly. Having. I gestured weakly toward the staircase. Go on. His smile turned glacial. Isn't that enough? With sudden violence, Ethan snatched his suit jacket. I have plans. Where? The question escaped before I could stop it. My engagement party. Naturally. His cufflinks gleamed like knives. Haven't you heard? The blood drained from my face. Who's the lucky? Mia. You can't. I lunged forward. Anyone but her. Ethan's laugh chilled the room. You spawned a secret love child, yet dare dictate my dating life? The slam of the front door vibrated through my bones. Hours later, my girl squad gaped in unison at the downtown speakeasy. You had Ethan's baby? Nodding miserably, I pushed my cocktail away. The recent tabloid leaks about Ethan's impending engagement to Mia had forced my hand. Don't you know? My friend lowered her voice. Years back, some girl ambushed Ethan during his yacht party. Police were involved until Mia claimed responsibility. They've been inseparable since. My nails bit into my palms. Mia had stolen my thunder and my man. I'd witnessed her scheming years ago, plotting to accidentally bump into Ethan at charity galas. Now the social climber was hijacking my life story. The whiskey burned going down. This imposter would marry Ethan over my dead body. She's nothing but a manipulative schemer. Feeling suffocated, I stood up to catch my breath in the restroom. By chance, a familiar voice drifted from a nearby stall. Relax. He didn't even know who he slept with 3 years ago. If the real person cared, they'd have come forward by now. Their silence proves there's no evidence. What's wrong with me taking their place? Once I marry into the family, the Foster fortune will be mine. It was Mia. What a coincidence, that night 3 years ago had happened too abruptly. When I barged into the room, Ethan was already delirious. Of course he couldn't recognize me. He just kept pulling me into his arms, dragging us both into that bottomless sea of desire. Mia had exploited that loophole, snapping out of the memory. I realized Ethan was probably here tonight since Mia was present. Not wanting him to be blindsided, I combed through the VIP rooms until I found his private lounge. He was distractedly flipping through a cocktail menu when I pushed the door open. At the sound, his dark lashes lifted. Those eyes locked onto me like a predator sighting prey. Summoning courage, I approached. Uncle. Can we change that? Change what? Aunt. I swallowed hard. stammering. I don't like her. Ethan's gaze turned forensic. Like a judge interrogating a defendant. Then who do you like? Those obsidian eyes threatened to swallow me whole. Before thinking, I yanked his silk tie. Uncle, what about me? The words hung in the air like smoke. A full minute of silence later, cold clarity returned. God, what was I doing? Ethan looked down at me, eventually curling his lips into a humorless smile. What's this? Shopping for stepdaddies now, and you're propositioning your uncle? I'd expected cold fury. Maybe security dragging me out. Never this mocking counterattack. My face burned. He leaned closer, breath warming my clenched fist around his tie. Ivy. He murmured. Let go. And I'll pretend tonight never happened. Hearing approaching heels outside, I jutted my chin stubbornly. Why not? I'm not a child anymore. I want to date. Date your uncle? I pressed my lips shut. The smile faded from his mouth as he gripped my jaw, bringing our faces inches apart. His breath mingled with my shallow panting. I squeezed my eyes shut, heart thrashing. Was he going to kiss me? The anticipated touch never came. Ethan let out a low chuckle. Want me to kiss you? Ivy. You've got some nerve. Heat flooded my cheeks as I trembled slightly under his palm warming the nape of my neck. Open your eyes. He commanded calmly. My eyelids fluttered but remained downcast. Where's that boldness from earlier? His thumb brushed my jawline. I just wasn't prepared. I retorted stubbornly, earning a derisive snort. This is how you want me to break up with my girlfriend? Come back when you grow some actual courage. After fleeing Ethan's private lounge that day, weeks passed without sightings. His secretary claimed business negotiations kept him occupied, though I suspected deliberate avoidance. The realization stung more than expected. Distraction came through my best friend's scheme late-night chats with random cute guys online. Tonight's date with some finance bro almost happened until a black sedan pulled into my driveway. Theo! I caught the bounding 6-year-old as he launched into my arms. Mommy! We're going camping. Camping? My confusion tripled seeing Ethan emerge from the car, crisp suit contrasting with Theo's dinosaur pajamas. Pack their essentials. He instructed the nanny before eyeing my sundress. We're staying at the Vineyard Resort. Before protest formed, luggage vanished into the trunk. Wait! I had plans. Should've mentioned earlier. Ethan cut me off as we merged onto highway. The driver clarified. Mr. Foster's attending business meetings. Lil Master insisted you join. So I'm Theo's tag-along. Not Ethan's choice. The 3-hour drive passed in tense silence until we reached the moonlit estate. A flash of blonde hurled herself at Ethan. You're late, pouted Mia. Designer dress fluttering. Ivy. Ethan introduced flatly. Mia's smile turned saccharine. Long time no see. Ivy. Our boarding school rivalry made her greeting particularly grating. As Theo dragged Ethan toward dessert tables, Mia's mask slipped. Your bastard calls him uncle? Pathetic how you dangle the kid for attention. I bit back retorts, watching Ethan patiently examine every cupcake Theo pointed at. His unexpected softness toward my son baffled everyone, including me. I stared at Mia and smiled. MS. Bennett seems nervous about my return. Mia forced a tight smile. Of course. When your boyfriend's being eyed by his own niece. It's downright embarrassing. Our relationship had never been smooth. Years ago, I'd overheard Mia plotting in the restroom about seducing Ethan. Young and impulsive, I'd confronted her immediately. She'd threatened to ruin me if I told anyone. Later, she invaded my privacy by reading my journal, discovering my secret crush on Ethan and blackmailing me with it. Some things never change. Ivy. Need help confessing? Mia sneered. What gives you the confidence now that you've got a child? Ethan pampers you like a niece. Try making him play stepdad and see what happens. Is that so? I pulled out my phone and dialed Ethan right in front of her. When he answered, I declared loudly, Ethan, I'm in love with you. The line went silent before disconnecting. Holding my phone up, I challenged Mia. He didn't disown me. Should I tell him how you schemed to trap him all those years? You shameless, Mia began. But I turned to leave. A splash erupted behind me. Water soaked my dress as screams pierced the air. Help! Ivy! Don't go! Save me! I whirled to find Mia thrashing in the pool. The crowd murmured as lifeguards fished her out. Isn't that Mr. Foster's girlfriend? Someone whispered. How'd she fall in? Ethan strode through the gathering crowd. What happened? Coughing pool water. Mia clutched his hand with theatrical trembling. Ethan. Ivy, she pushed me. The crowd buzzed. That girl's finished. Someone muttered. Everyone knows Mr. Foster treasures Mia. Ethan's gaze locked with my furious one. Ivy. Is this true? She jumped herself. Mia shivered dramatically. I know she resents me for how we started. You forgave me. Ethan. Why can't she? My blood turned to ice. He knew? Ethan didn't deny it. I'll have someone take you to the hospital. Could you come with me? Mia pleaded, shooting me a triumphant look. Ethan withdrew his hand, wiping his damp fingers before discarding the handkerchief. Since Ivy objects to you, I'll stay to teach her proper manners. The loaded statement made Mia pale. Come, Ivy. Ethan led me inside. Settling on the sofa with the same stern posture he'd used when confronting my failed English tests years ago. I remained standing. Ethan furrowed his brows. What are you standing there for? At that moment, my grievances reached their peak. I suddenly burst out. You're really insufferable. Ethan! My voice echoed through the room. Ethan looked like he hadn't heard clearly. What did you say about me? Tears rolled down my cheeks. Are you going senile in your old age? The water was on my back. Obviously she jumped in after I turned around. Ethan said calmly. I'm not blind. No one thought you pushed Mia tonight. Come here and change your clothes. Only then did I notice the dry dress laid out on the sofa. But the fire in my chest kept burning. So you're calling me stupid now? A vein pulsed in Ethan's temple as he maintained patience. I never said that. Then why won't you break up with her? The abrupt subject shift successfully silenced him. After a long pause, he said measuredly, Fine. We'll break up. Sit down and let's discuss. I don't want to. I snapped, cutting him off. You knew Mia's true nature but refused to end things. That means you actually like her. I looked like such a clown seriously warning you about her motives. As I rapid-fired accusations, Ethan finally seized a chance to interject. I never thought that. Didn't I agree to break up? You're just humoring me. My voice rose higher. I'm cutting ties with you. Your business is none of my concern anymore. Ethan's expression turned complex, suppressed fury simmering beneath forced composure. Ivy. Say that again. I stomped into my sneakers and wrenched the door open. Need hearing aids in your old age? I shouted before slamming the door with a loud bang. This marked my first real fight with Ethan. Only after leaving did I calm down. With the hotel fully booked, I stood helpless until Ethan's secretary rushed over with a key card. Mr. Foster said Theo's being cared for. Please rest well tonight. Did he say anything else? I asked. Emotions churning. Nothing. The secretary smiled. I felt like I'd punched cotton. Why wasn't he angry after our argument? The next morning, the secretary knocked. Mr. Foster ended things with a mess. Bennett. He'll wait for you to join breakfast when ready. He actually did it? He did. The dining atmosphere hung heavy. not wanting to apologize publicly for last night's harsh words. I kept silent. Ethan remained unbothered, chatting amiably with others. Your partner seems upset, Mr. Foster, someone remarked. Ethan sighed dramatically. Still sulking after last night's tantrum. He casually slid me a cupcake. I took small bites, stubbornly maintaining silence. All morning, Ethan kept handing me so much food I could barely move. Out of spite, I grabbed his phone and started sending him a bunch of PDD links. His phone suddenly vibrated with an incoming call. Not wanting to get too close, I put it on speaker. A young male voice teased through the speaker. Hey, about that kid Theo, yours? My spine went rigid as I unconsciously straightened up. Ethan didn't even lift his eyelids. What about it? The guy chuckled. Looks just like you. When'd you secretly have a son? Little thing came straight to me demanding ice cream. Ethan's finger paused mid-air above the end call button. His gaze locked onto me with sudden intensity. The room plunged into eerie silence. My pulse roared in my ears. Ivy. Ethan studied my face before smiling dangerously. You haven't been keeping secrets, have you? I calmly shoved his phone back into his pocket, pretending deafness. He leaned back, watching me like a predator with all the time in the world. I blurted, I'm staying at the hot springs with Mia tonight. When he remained silent, I added firmly, might sleep over. Won't come back. Oh, sleeping over. Ethan drawled, amusement dripping from each syllable. Flushing. I snapped. Don't come looking for me. Wouldn't dream of it. His smirk followed me all the way out. I didn't stop shaking until 3 blocks later when I suddenly bolted in the opposite direction. Holy crap. Am I about to get caught? Mia screamed when I crashed into her apartment that night. Ivy, you look terrible. And is that, you're drunk? I stumbled toward her clutching a half-empty vodka bottle, collapsing into an armchair. They said liquid courage works. I slurred. Why am I still terrified? She snatched the bottle and shrieked. 56% ABV. You chugged half this? Are you insane? The room spun as I wailed. What do I do? Mia gripped my shoulders. Do about what? What did you do now? I yelled in her ear. Ethan knows. Her eyes went huge. About Theo being his? I gave a hysterical giggle. Getting there. He's gonna murder me. Bring flowers to my grave next year. My best friend. Mia. Exhaled heavily. Ha. You haven't figured it out yet? She settled me. Ivy. Onto the plush chair and moved toward the desk. Just run away again before he finds out. Or if you want to sleep with him, do it once before disappearing, her words abruptly choked off. I lifted my groggy head. Why'd you stop? I like hearing you talk. Haha. Let's sleep a guy, MMPH. Cold fingers clamped over my mouth. We stared wide-eyed at each other in the darkness. Her whisper carried the gravity of a ghost story. Do you know where we are? Broadcast room. I forgot to turn off the mic earlier. Minutes later, I was being dragged through corridors like a kite in the wind. Drunken giggles bubbling from me. God damn it. Why is there a broadcast room in a resort? You lunatic. Dragging me here at midnight. Shut it. The world spun in kaleidoscopic patterns when we finally stopped. Raucous laughter stilled as my vision cleared. The approaching figure nearly stopped my heart. Ethan's smile had vanished, his obsidian eyes piercing through me. John suddenly hauled Mia away, grinning darkly. Where's my birthday soundtrack? Sweetheart? Left alone under Ethan's scrutiny, I stood frozen. Running away. Ivy? His velvet baritone rolled across the emptied ballroom. His security detail formed an impassable ring around us. I clung to stubborn denial. Not running. Just catching a flight. For what purpose? Mourning my dead husband. The words hummed between us. My face drained of color. Ah. Ethan's thumb brushed my jugular. So you married someone while carrying my child? My knees buckled. And no. You dare let my heir bear another's name. His grip tightened. Do you think I won't kill you? Drunken desperation surged. I clutched his arm. Please. Let me go. I'm drunk. Theo's father is dead. I'll video call from the memorial. He yanked me against him. Smile glacially cold. Keep lying. Ivy. This dead husband will stay right here listening to your nonsense. Terror and alcohol collided. I collapsed against his chest. Ethan. I'm dizzy. Ethan chuckled at my antics. No worries. I have all the time in the world to humor you. His tone made it clear he wouldn't let this go without proper resolution. I clung to him momentarily before suddenly bolting toward the exit. Behind me. Ethan's light laughter echoed through the marble lobby. Utterly unconcerned. Panicking like a headless chicken. I darted through the hotel's opulent corridors only to find security blocking the main entrance. This way's closed. Ivy. The guard stated impassively. Swerving toward the grand staircase. I raced past multiple guarded doors until reaching the exclusive upper floors. Before me stood the only open doorway on the entire level, the presidential suite's arched entrance glowing like forbidden fruit. Cornering Ethan near the elevator bank. I attempted fierceness despite trembling knees. Stop following me. Wouldn't dream of it. He agreed amiably. Leaning against the brass railing. My fleeing stumble over the plush carpet proved his lie as strong arms steadied me. The warm cedar scent of his cologne intensified with body heat. Wrapping around us like velvet smoke. Walking requires looking where you're going. Kitten. His breath tickled my ear as I struggled uselessly. Uncle Ethan, let go. I'm fine. Fine? His chest vibrated with suppressed laughter. Could have sworn you were 3 sheets to the wind. Releasing me abruptly. He watched my frantic scramble toward the suite. Long legs kept effortless pace behind me. Careful now, I don't bite. The massive bed dominated the room as I lunged inward. Suddenly weightless. The world inverted as Ethan flipped me onto the duvet. Took you long enough. He murmured, removing his platinum watch with deliberate slowness. Please. My voice cracked. Don't kill me. Kill you? Cold metal brushed my spine as his palm pressed me flush against him. You demanded we break up. Cut ties completely. Now you want mercy? Trapped between his heat and the mattress. I babbled drunken nonsense about vengeful spirits until his fingers slid along my throat. Beg properly. He commanded darkly. Please, I'm begging. Too late. The bed dipped under his weight. You started this game. Ivy. Either play it through tonight. His teeth grazed my collarbone. Or don't expect to sleep at all. The sober version of Ethan proved infinitely more dangerous than his younger self. Where our first encounter 5 years ago had been tentative exploration. Tonight's kisses carried punitive hunger, each touch branding claims deeper than any legal document. The metallic tang of blood filled my mouth almost instantly. Tell me. He demanded. Who's Theo's father? It's not you, it can't be. Ethan's palm connected sharply with my backside. Relax. Did you know your entire body tenses up when you lie? Uncle. I whimpered. The childhood endearment slipping out instinctively. Calling me that won't help. He said darkly. Fingers digging into my hips. Only the truth will. By the time he finished, I lay trembling and spent. Words spilling out in choked confession. Only then did Ethan show mercy. Pressing a kiss to my sweat-dampened forehead. Sleep now. He murmured. The memory from 5 years ago bled into tonight's feverish dreamscape. Leaving me drenched and panting. I startled awake to the sound of running water. Ethan's voice carried through the bathroom door. Phone conversation echoing over the shower spray. Thought you'd have broken the brat's legs by now. I froze. The brat could only mean me. Under normal circumstances. Yes. Ethan's reply held its usual detached calm. Water shut off abruptly. Why the exception this time? A beat of silence. She looked pitiful. Not worth the lecture. I burrowed deeper under the comforter as bathroom steam billowed out. Ethan emerged towel-clad, droplets tracing the ridges of his abdomen. His hand settled on my crown, calloused thumb stroking my temple. When will you outgrow this skittishness? You had no trouble sassing me last week. I peered up through the blanket fortress. Saying nothing. Still too young. He sighed after studying me. Should have dragged you back from overseas immediately. Am I such a monster that you'd hide something this monumental? Truth was, my deception had been meticulously planned. Weekly check-ins timed to annoyance. Even scheduling delivery room updates as calendar reminders. The overkill of daily messages served one purpose: to make Ethan sick of my existence. My fingers suddenly darted toward his nightstand. The iPhone screen illuminated to reveal my chat still pinned atop his contacts. Ethan swatted my backside without looking up from buttoning his dress shirt. Up. We're visiting the estate today. It wasn't until the Bentley purred through gilded gates that realization struck I should still be furious with him. No proper explanation about Mia. No confession of feelings. Wasn't this textbook fuckboy behavior? Don't. I warned as we parked before the marble fountain. I'm still angry. Ethan paused mid-step. About? You figure it out. He just left? My best friend nearly appended her latte. Walked straight into the board meeting. I confirmed. Stabbing my parfait. That absolute dick. I conveniently omitted his parting question about dinner preferences. Listen. She leaned forward. Manicured nails tapping the bistro table. This power imbalance is making you act like some scolded kid instead of his equal. You need to show Ethan your... The rest blurred as my phone buzzed. A new notification glowed. Ethan, 3:15 p.m, pick you up at 7. Wear the blue dress. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. 3 dots appeared. Then vanished. Finally, Ethan, 3:16 p.m, please. The parfait spoon clattered against porcelain. Across town. In a corner office 50 floors above Manhattan. A man loosened his tie while staring at a stubbornly silent chat bubble. On his desk. A velvet box sat beside paperwork for a minor's passport revocation dated 5 years prior, never filed. I thought that made sense and asked. How? Just do everything your uncle never let you do before. It sounded reasonable. That very night, while Ethan was still working, he received a text from me, several photos of male models. Each strikingly handsome in their own way. Ethan, these two look promising tonight. Help me pick one? His call came instantly. I mercilessly declined it. I took Theo to stay at my best friend's place for a few days. Relentlessly provoking Ethan the entire time. Our chat history showed me falling in love with 18 different young men over 10 days. My friend nodded approvingly at the stock photos we'd curated. Perfect. This'll make him realize you're not waiting around forever. Ethan's responses evolved from stern warnings to simply replying one as if keeping count for me. Just when I thought I could keep this up a while longer, Theo tearfully approached me. Her favorite stuffed bear was missing. After prolonged coaxing, she sniffled. I left Mr. Bear in Daddy's bedroom. The manor? Your dad's room? She nodded vehemently. Please get him back. Mommy? Her pitiful sobs left me conflicted. Running into Ethan, I called the housekeeper. Mr. Foster isn't home tonight, she assured. Relieved. I rushed to the ancestral estate. Dusk painted the manor in deepening shadows. As I reached Ethan's bedroom door, the sound of running water froze me mid-reach. He was here. Then I spotted the stuffed bear's ear peeking through the door crack inches from my fingertips. One push and I could grab it. Holding my breath, I widened the gap and stretched my arm through. The house stood silent. Too late. I realized the shower had stopped. My fingers closed around plush terrycloth damp with moisture. A strong hand yanked me inside. The door clicked shut, swallowing the last light. Ethan's signature cedar scent mingled with steam as his breath warmed my ear. Ivy. I don't recall teaching you to barge into men's bedrooms. His velvety baritone vibrated through me. My knees buckled as I clutched his robe. I'm an adult, I retorted shakily. Don't need lessons. He chuckled low, the sound rippling across my skin where my cheek pressed against his damp chest. My mistake. Shouldn't have left the door open as temptation. Water droplets traced the ridges of his muscles, disappearing beneath the robe's V. His heartbeat thrummed steady and hot beneath my palm. Feel free to look closer, he murmured, lips grazing my temple. Just a suggestion, not a lesson. His hand kept bumping against my palm. My belated rebellious phase made me tune out his words. Suddenly I grabbed his neck, stood on tiptoe to kiss him. In the darkness, I missed my aim and kissed his Adam's apple. Ethan's breath hitched as he effortlessly pinned my wrists against the bed. Done giving me the cold shoulder? I pushed at his chest, mumbling, "Truce. I need to get Theo's teddy bear." Ethan didn't budge. Fine. But first, let's discuss your 18 boyfriends. I choked. You think you've got me figured out? Newsflash, I'm not some pushover. Even if I'm carrying your child, you can't manipulate me. His laughter rumbled. Manipulate you? Ivy. Be honest, when have I ever held the upper hand? Wasn't it always you calling the shots? As he released me, memories flooded back. Remember when you forced me into tutoring after I failed math? I tanked the next exam harder because you yelled. That's because you were terrifying. I protested. My duty was to guide you. He said evenly. Your parents entrusted me. Fine. Play guardian angel then. But now? You let me humiliate myself knowing Theo's yours. Ethan's gaze darkened. I had suspicions. Would interrogating my ward about paternity make me seem deranged? I pictured the scenario. Okay. Creepy. Exactly. DNA testing behind your back would have been worse, an authority figure lusting after his charge. So only if I make the first move. You're not a pervert? In principle. I kicked his shin. That's why you never confessed? Amusement crinkled his eyes. Why confess? His mouth sealed over mine in a breath-stealing kiss. When he finally pulled back, my flushed face seemed to delight him. When I could propose? My brain short-circuited. Rushed preparations. He murmured. Never meant to keep you waiting. I considered this. Proposals shouldn't come with spoiler alerts. Then I frowned. What about Mia? This feels like a rebound. I never touched her. Ethan's thumb brushed my cheekbone. Mia's puppet master is who I've been after since she drugged me, the bastard who accidentally trapped you instead. As he pressed me into the pillows, realization dawned. You should have kept dating Mia to bait him. Not worth upsetting you. He murmured against my neck. Moonlight revealed the tension in his jaw. Those 18 guys still haunted him. Panicking. I warned. We're equals now. No punishments. Ethan's chuckle warmed my ear. If I were still your guardian, I'd ground you for life. But tonight, his teeth grazed my earlobe. Equal partners get creative. As a man, I would only. After he uttered those last 3 words, my eyes widened in shock. Before I could react, I was dragged over and nearly lost my life. In the end, Ethan smiled and asked, "Let's get married tomorrow. Okay?" Still dazed, I mumbled, "So soon? Is there a rush?" He chuckled. "I can wait for you to make the first move. But this works too." Suddenly intensifying his approach, he drawled, "Come on, Ivy. Propose to me." Seeing tears well up in my eyes again, Ethan stopped and quickly soothed. All right. Give me that commitment. Okay? My best friend gaped at the diamond ring on my finger. This fast? I nodded. Yeah. That fast. News of Ethan's wedding band on his ring finger spread like wildfire the next day. Considering Theo's and my situation, I had no plans to go public yet. Speculations about Ethan's mysterious spouse ran rampant. Ivy. We meet again. The man named Shu blocked my path in the mall for the third time this month. Relentless. Mr. Foster must be swamped. How could he neglect your feelings for this marriage? I tossed a bag of chips into my cart uncertainly. My feelings? Shu said courteously. Don't you have feelings for Ethan? His marriage must devastate you. I'll admit his smile was disarming. But was he unhinged? He seemed convinced someone else had married Ethan. While I hesitated, Shu produced a phone. Ivy. I can help you, if you follow my instructions. Help me what? Win Ethan over. For the first time, I studied him seriously. Taking the phone, I grinned. Sure. You're such a saint. Within 30 minutes, we'd formed an alliance. Ethan parked punctually outside the mall. I dashed out with my bags, yanked the car door open, and beamed at him. Ethan! His smile froze. Since our wedding, Ethan had forbidden me from using that familial address in public unless I wanted consequences. His gaze lingered on the phone in my hand before flickering with understanding. Get in. I shamelessly leaned against him. Ethan. I've missed you so much. Too busy marrying your new wife to pay attention to me? His eye twitched. Isn't that what I'm doing now? I batted my lashes silently. Shu's voice hissed through my earpiece. Ivy. Remember to set up the camera at home. With that footage, we'll crush him. Ethan reverted to his old self during the drive home, refusing to so much as brush my hand. He headed straight to his study upon arrival. Shu urged. Hurry. Change your clothes. Trust me, once we film him holding you, I'll handle the rest. Groaning, I retreated to the master bedroom. Ethan Foster smiled approvingly. You've got guts. Kid. Good for you. After changing clothes and setting up my phone, I heard the door open behind me. Ivy. Ethan's voice cut off abruptly when he saw my outfit. I tugged at my high school uniform top, grinning. Looks just like my old one. Remember? He sighed wordlessly and locked the door. His watch hit the dresser with a clink. Still basking in my temporary return to teenagehood, I suddenly found myself flipped upside down over his arm. Hey! Ethan! Smack! The stinging slap to my rear accompanied his icy chuckle. What did I say about that name? I squirmed uselessly as he plucked the hidden phone from my pocket. Ethan Foster speaking, he said into the receiver, casually pinning me beneath the comforter with his free hand. I'd hoped our last encounter made the rules clear. Mr. Sue. My face burned crimson as he dragged me back when I tried escaping. Through the phone came Sue Shubai's venomous snarl, you sanctimonious prick. Marrying her was bad enough. But lusting after your own niece? Tomorrow morning, everyone will know what kind of monster you are. Ethan's laughter rumbled against my neck. By all means. Try. The call disconnected with a beep. Hiding under pillows. I squeaked, Uncle? Ryup. Fabric tore as my shirt became confetti. Had no idea you enjoyed roleplay this much. Ethan drawled, tracing the waistband of my jeans. Keep calling me that if you want the full Predator experience. He kept harassing me. I blurted, clutching at his shoulders. I just wanted to mess with him. You knew he was recording when you... His mouth silenced mine. Footages already erased. Now look at me. He nipped my lower lip. Say it again. Uncle. Still asking for it. Sweetheart? Wrapping my legs around him. I breathed against his jaw. Husband. The following weeks passed uneventfully until my girls' brunch got interrupted by breaking news. A local business magnate had been arrested for tax evasion and other charges. My friend stabbed her fork at the TV screen. That's your husband's rival, right? The one connected to Mia? I froze at the familiar face, Su Shubai, mouthing words fervently at the cameras. The muted report continued as the newscaster droned on. What's he saying? I asked. Looks like a rabid televangelist. My friend squinted. Lip reading, something about you? Miss Collins, won't fail you, try again after prison. So Ethan never told him about our marriage license. As Su Shubai's trial progressed, darker truths emerged from 5 years ago, how he drugged Ethan's drink during charity gala, smuggled him to a hotel suite, and sent Mia to comfort the incapacitated billionaire. The plot would have succeeded if security hadn't intercepted Mia's elevator. In the midst of the chaos, Mia ended up in the wrong room. After sleeping together, she realized the guy was a college student. Meanwhile, I had to bring Ethan some fresh clothes from home because his secretary was swamped. One misunderstanding led to another. Alex, who'd been trying to ruin his rival through scandals, shifted his focus to me when Mia proved useless. The whole mess quieted down after Alex got arrested. Ethan deliberately cleared Theo's summer schedule to take us abroad for vacation. At the bustling airport, I suddenly heard a familiar voice arguing with a young man. It was Mia. Wait, is that? Ethan answered while adjusting Theo's lollipop, the college student she slept with. My eyes widened. They're still together after all these years? Yeah, Ethan said, wiping candy residue from our son's fingers. He came to me right after Mia tried her little scheme. Tore down her stage before the play even started. You knew it wasn't her that night all along? My voice trembled. Then why did you publicly claim? Ethan's gaze lingered on Theo's sticky hands before he smiled. Not sure. Maybe waiting for someone to come back. Or for someone to step forward and claim me. I suddenly pictured a giant black dog holding a lost sign. Waiting for its owner. What if it hadn't been me? Thought about it. His thumb brushed my wrist. Every single night. Ivy. What I feel for you, it's not exactly pure. If it hadn't been you, I'd have kept my distance. Might never have seen you again. My breath caught. When did you start? Not sure. His hand moved to ruffle Theo's hair. Maybe when you turned 18. Maybe. The sunset painted his profile in gold as his voice trailed off. I finally understood, our present was that 1 in a million chance. Without that fateful misunderstanding, even if I'd thrown myself at him, Ethan would have remained unmovable. My pinky hooked around his. Our secret didn't stay hidden for long. The news broke while we were still on vacation. I clutched my phone all day. Anxiety churning. Our complicated relationship was bound to draw public scrutiny. Yet strangely, the internet remained calm. Relax. My best friend said through the phone. Nobody around here even knows. Either Ethan paid for airtight NDAs or he's suppressing me. You think the Fosters can't protect their own? 3 days passed without incident. As the tension eased, I watched Theo follow the nanny to collect seashells at dusk. Amber light streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, gilding the rumpled sheets. Afterward, Ethan pressed me against the glass, his lips grazing my shoulder. Tired? The dying sun painted my skin crimson. MHM. Later, freshly showered, I reached for his phone. He was in the shower. When the text came through, I called his name twice. But he didn't hear me. I simply opened it. The message was from an elder of the Foster family. Ethan, I never expected you to be this unyielding. If you insist on proceeding, so be it. Scrolling up, I found previous exchanges between Ethan and this family member dated back to our time in China. You and Ivy's relationship is unacceptable. The Fosters have never endured such disgrace. Ethan, I'm informing you. Not seeking permission. She's your brother's child. Ethan, a foster daughter without shared lineage. Bullshit. Some foster daughter seducing her own uncle, aren't you afraid of divine retribution? May she be reborn as livestock in her next life. Ethan, I initiated this. Let the heavens punish me alone. The beast role is mine to play. No need to wait for next lifetime. He'd forwarded a drafted press statement detailing his shameful obsession and predatory actions toward his niece. Uncle. Shall I have the media circulate this immediately? The elder responded with furious exclamation marks, You'll ruin the Fosters. You tried to destroy her. I'll dismantle the family. You. Ethan typed, Choose your targets carefully when hurling insults. She's young, crude words don't suit her ears. If you attempt to harm her again, our next conversation won't be through screens. The shower stopped. I hastily hid the phone under the pillow. Thought you were tired? Ethan effortlessly scooped me into his arms, bundling me against his damp chest. Remembering the messages, I murmured, Why, this sudden overseas trip? No reason. You seemed to like the idea. The rushed departure had occurred hours after receiving some alert, likely connected to his uncle's threats. He'd resolved everything silently. Instead of pressing further, I kissed his collarbone, fingers slipping beneath his terrycloth robe. His grip tightened around my wrist. Voice roughening. Still energetic. Ivy? I answered by claiming his lips. Ethan. I love you. His entire body tensed before he rolled us back into the blazing sunset. Ivy. I love you. Rumpled sheets transformed the dying light into cascading rose petals. Day surrendered to night. Moonlight stretching across our tangled limbs.